Deep in the heart of the city, nestled between towering skyscrapers and sprawling suburbs, lies an old mental hospital known as Hope Sanitarium. It's a place that most people try to avoid, for they say that there is something deeply unsettling about the hospital, something that seems to lurk in the shadows and whisper secrets to those who dare to listen. For years, the hospital stood empty and abandoned, its once bustling corridors and sterile rooms now reduced to a hollow shell of their former glory. The paint on the walls had long since peeled away, and the beds in the wards lay empty, their mattresses long since rotting away. But even as the hospital fell into disrepair, there were rumors that something still lived within its walls. Some claimed that the ghosts of the patients who had died within the hospital still roamed its halls, their cries and whispers echoing through the empty rooms. Others whispered of something even more sinister, something that had taken root within the hospital and refused to let go. Something that preyed on the weak and the vulnerable, drawing them in and never letting them go. It was these rumors that drew a young woman named Sarah to the hospital. Sarah had always been fascinated by the supernatural, and she longed to explore the abandoned hospital and see for herself if the rumors were true. So one dark and stormy night, she slipped through the hospital's rusty gates and made her way inside. The air inside the hospital was thick and musty, and the only sound that could be heard was the distant sound of rain tapping against the roof. As she made her way through the dimly lit halls, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The shadows seemed to dance and twist around her, and the whispers of the patients seemed to grow louder with each passing moment. But even as she grew more and more uneasy, Sarah refused to turn back. She was determined to find out what lay at the heart of the rumors, to see for herself what secrets the hospital held. And then, as she turned a corner, she saw it. A figure, shrouded in darkness, standing at the end of the hall. Its eyes seemed to glow in the darkness, and Sarah could feel a cold sweat breaking out on her skin. For a moment, she thought about running, but then something within her stirred, something that told her that she had to face whatever lay at the end of the hall. So she stepped forward, one foot in front of the other, until she was standing just a few feet away from the figure. And then, with a sudden burst of courage, she reached out and touched it. It was then that Sarah realized the truth about the hospital. It wasn't haunted by ghosts or spirits, but by something far more insidious, something that had taken root within the hospital and was now feeding on the fears and anxieties of the living. And as Sarah looked into the eyes of the creature that had been stalking her, she knew that she was never going to leave the hospital alive, for she had become just another victim, another source of food for the malevolent spirit that now ruled over Hope Sanitarium. And so, as the rain continued to fall outside, Sarah's screams echoed through the empty halls of the hospital, a final warning to all those who might be tempted to explore its dark and twisted secrets. If you made it to the end of this tale, thanks for listening. Hit that like button and subscribe, and I encourage comments. I greatly appreciate it. Until the next tale.